it's time to speak up. This video is going to be a little bit longer than normal, but I think you guys need to hang on to the end because there's some really important information coming your way. I've been asked by multiple people, when did I think that we might need to be concerned about troops in our streets? And I've got a date for you. I've been waiting because it seems so crazy. I've been waiting to see if certain things happened before I said this, and certain things are happening that make me more convinced than ever that we need to be on our guard on or about April 20th and in the days and weeks right thereafter. Hang with me because I'm going to tell you why, and it'll make sense, and it won't sound like I'm just a crazy woman spewing things out. So on January the 20th, President Trump signed his executive order on immigration. And in that executive order, he said in 90 days from the date, which will be April 20th, that the Director of Homeland Security and the Secretary of Defense have to give a joint report to President Trump about how his immigration policy is going, how they're being able to enact his policy. And it says in there that they are specifically to consider whether additional things need to be done, including, and it mentions the Insurrection Act. Now, the Insurrection Act allows the president to send troops, our Army, our National Guards, to send them into the streets. This has happened before. This is not the first administration that has used the Insurrection Act, but this is the first administration who has ever used it in this manner, and one that has also shown such a blatant disregard for the Constitution. So on April 20th, the Secretary of Defense and the Secretary of Homeland Security are going to go to President Trump, and they're going to talk about whether or not they think they need to institute the Insurrection Act to implement his policies. The Insurrection Act is going to, I'm positive, is going to label anyone who is doing like the people in Boston and trying to fight for taking immigrants, people like me and many of you who are speaking out. Anyone that is going to be in any way opposition to this administration will be labeled an insurrectionist, and we will be dealt with as such. Arrests, I believe, will be imminent.
Martial law on April 20th. I've been hearing a lot of talk about this date. Now, this video isn't to confirm or deny that date, just simply to explain what to expect if it does happen. You might want to share and repost this one. When martial law is declared, life as you know it, it's over. The Constitution, suspended. Your rights, they're gone. The military takes control, replacing local law enforcement, and suddenly you're living under military rule. Now, what this means for you is curfews. Your movement is controlled. Step outside at the wrong time, and you're a target. Checkpoints. Every road, every street monitored. No ID, you aren't getting passage. Unlawful searches. Your home is no longer your own. They don't need permission. They take what they want when they want. That First Amendment, yeah, no free speech. Speak out, you disappear. No protest, no questioning, just obedience. They'll tell you it's for public safety, that they're here to restore order. But in reality, you're no longer in control of your own life.
Alright, Shalom. Welcome to another video. And as always, before I get started, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wadash, and next double honors to the head apostles / elder bishops of the great millstone who teach and who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety to all you sincere Akim. Keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith, regardless of whether people hear or whether they forbear. So, April 20th, alright, just a day to be on alert. Alright, be paying attention as we always do, measuring the times diligently. All right, once again, what does that mean? That means seeing what's going on in the world and lining it up with biblical prophecy. All right, we do know that in the scriptures that some will be cast into prison. We do know that great tribulation and persecution will come. We do know that martial law will be declared. Why? Because all these things are in the scriptures. So, as the guy said in the video, all right, not declaring, not confirming or denying April 20th as the date for potential martial law, but just giving a warning that these things are in the scriptures and that they will happen eventually, whether it's sooner or later. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into that topic. And Yahweh righteous on many Heavenly Father's will is edifying to the elect. I'm going to start off here in Revelation 12:12. It says, Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And that's talking about Esau. All right, he knows his rulership is coming to a close. All right, in Isaiah the 19th chapter, it talks about spiritual Egypt being given over to a cruel king. All right, we believe that to be President Donald Trump. All right, but we'll see. But he's trying to pretty much bring power back to Esau. All right, so he knows he has a short time, so he's getting ready to come down with draconian measures. All right, as the scriptures warn us of. Let's go to 2 Ezra 15. In the video, they talked about martial law. Well, this is spoken of in 2 Ezra 15. So we'll read starting at verse 14, and it says, Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So civil wars, we always talk about race wars, class wars, civil wars, economic woes. All right, it says, For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So people are going to do whatever they want to do. When you look up this word sedition, all right, it means conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. All right, and the woman was talking about insurrection. That's another word for sedition. All right, we're going to have that happening. People are going to rise up against the government. It's already happening. All right, here in El Paso, all right, people have been protesting Trump and the stuff he's been doing, and it's been happening really nationwide. Okay, we had the protests in L.A. That's another sign of the end times. Okay, how I spoke about it in Matthew the 24th chapter. All right, but verse 17, this is the verse concerning martial law. It says, A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right, why? Because when all hell breaks loose and there's chaos in the streets, or they decide that they need to, quote unquote, establish order, all right, what do? They send up the National Guard. And as he said, we'll be living in a military state where your rights, your constitutional rights, will be stripped from you. And this is biblical. Okay, that's the reason why, once again, they're going to come down having great wrath. And they're going to use draconian measures to achieve the desired result. All right, let's continue on. It says, verse 18, But because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And this is going to be pretty much, what the great tribulation is going to consist of. All right, also, 2 Ezra 16, all right, goes into how we need to be as pilgrims upon the earth, be ready to be on the move, because they are going to rise up against the Israelites. Okay, they've already been, you see, Esau is a master at portraying a certain targeted people to be a certain way so that they can justify oppressing, destroying, and deleting them. All right, like the woman said in the video, anyone who pretty much does the act of sedition, like we read, which is speech or conduct that promotes rebellion against the established authority, all right, will be labeled an insurrectionist, and they'll be dealt with as an insurrectionist, which in any kind of dictatorship, all right, a lot of times that is punishable by death. All right, hence the reason why Yahushua said, he talked about those that were beheaded for the gospel's sake shall rise first, because that is going to happen to certain men. Certain men will be martyrs. All right, and this is the beginning of that happening. Heavy persecution, being labeled as an insurrectionist or a domestic T. All right, and that's a part of the game. That's why you have to be ready. All right, you have to be ready to overcome and love not your life unto the death, because these things will come down the pipeline, and we're giving you warning ahead of time before they do come. 2 Ezra 16:40. I'm going to read on down to 48. It says, O my people, hear my word and make you ready to the battle. And in those evils be it even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away. And he that buyeth is one that will lose. He that occupieth merchandise is he that hath no profit by it. And he that buildeth is he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth is if he should not reap. So also he that planted the vineyard is he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers. And therefore, they that labor, labor in vain. And that's what we always tell you. Okay, you have to be ready. All this is pretty much going to go away. You have to be ready to move, to drop everything at a moment's notice. That's the times we're coming into. And the reason why you got to be on go is because, once again, they're going to come down having great wrath, wanting to imprison Jake for going up against, their established authority. Continuing on, 2 Ezra 16 and verse 46. For strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods, and overthrow their houses and take their children captives. For in captivity and famine shall they get children. And they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, the more will I be angry with them for their sin, saith the Lord. All right. So you got to be ready to be on go and be ready to drop anything and everything at an instant. All right. Revelation 2 and 10, it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. So it says which thou shalt suffer. So we're going to suffer some things. All right. It's not going to be an easy cakewalk into the kingdom like these guys would like to have you to believe. It says, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. All right, Esau, because it ain't talking about no spiritual devil. All right, the spiritual demon Satan doesn't have a physical body to throw you into prison. It's talking about these Edomites. All right, which they get their power from the left-hand side. It says, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And that's the mindset that you got to be in. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Sirach 4 and 28 says, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. All right. That's the mindset that you got to prepare your mind for this. Okay. And I'm going to close out with this. All right. James chapter 1 and verse 12. It says, blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. And that's what we're hoping for. So just be aware, be alert. All right. Watch for the word of the brothers. I'm sure that, the Holy Spirit will warn, the brotherhood in due time. All right. If anything that's coming down the pipeline, and may Yahweh Bashem Yahushai be with you all in these last days. So that's it for this quick news and prophecy update. Yahweh righteous, always edifying. As always, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakwadash. And until next time, Shalom and Abide Babal.